Well, it's been an action-packed month for model railroad activities. In fact, this summer, I was all over the place. I had traveled to many different places to get to some train shows and model railroad events. And I will get to the Trainfest items, but I do need to back up just a little bit. I was at the Hawkeye Model Railroad Show in Iowa City on October 19th. Scale Signs debuted their 3D printed railroad ties, and these have incredible detail with realistic wood grain, rust from the tie plates, and even little spike holes. They're painted and ready to place on the layout, and it's a great detail, I should say, that adds to the models. Now they're always adding new signs, and Garza is certainly keeping busy. It seems that you can never have enough signs. You will find that you place a few and realize that it might be nice to have another sign slightly down the road from where you just placed one, and eventually the signs will take over. On October 25th, the Great Train Show came to Shakopee, Minnesota at the Canterbury Park. Dubker Media was in attendance, and I got his DVD about the Iowa Northern in its last days. I think we're all very grateful when we have people that are willing to go out, especially at the last minute when they hear the news that a railroad is going away, or at least being absorbed, and they go out and film those trains for us. Spring Creek Model Trains booth was always busy when I walked by, but I was able to get two new items from Walthers. One was this Scenemaster dry bulk trailer. It has very nice detail, quite fine ladders, and good pad printed graphics. This is a fine model and quite a step up from what you might expect from Scenemaster. Over the years, they've had some questionable quality and stickers that maybe didn't stay on the models, but this is not that. This is actually a much better, finely detailed model, and this particular one has really nice paint on it. They have some that are more of a chrome version, and then a fully painted trailer as well. The second item is a Cornerstone Tudor house. Walthers keeps cranking out nice kits for residential areas, which is great because that's what I like to model. This one has a rather unique look, but it will fit in, I think, with their other offerings like the Craftsman Bungalow or even the Ranch Style Home. As many neighborhoods built out between the World War I and II, you would have many different styles of homes. So this one will look great. And now on to Trainfest. I took Amtrak from St. Paul to Milwaukee on Friday, and this was my first time getting a roomette, and it made for a very pleasant ride. I've enjoyed coach on a number of trips, and I thought I would give first class a try. Amtrak leaves Spud at around 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was lucky they were still serving breakfast, so I got breakfast and lunch included on my trip out to Milwaukee, and it was actually pretty good. The NMRA launched their new logo at Trainfest and had stickers and silicone bands to commemorate the new clean design. My first stop at Trainfest was to the Master Built Models booth to pick up these Ram trucks, and I'm glad I went straight there because Bob Johnson said he had a very limited number of the white Ram Rebels from PCX 87, so very lucky to have gotten one. I also got the blue Lone Star edition and a black limited. So now I can have a full line Chrysler dealership on my layout. I'd have Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep. While at the Master Build booth, I also got a 1983 GMC Vandura in metallic green paint and this 1981 GMC two-tone blue Sierra pickup. The quality of these models is outstanding. A secondhand vendor that I stopped at had some of these offerings from Busch. They're a little bit older models, may have been out for some time, but these are in great shape. They are like brand new in the case. One's an older model of a Crown Victoria, a Chevy Caprice, and a Dodge Caravan CV with the blanked off rear windows. I discovered there are two models of Xuron rail track cutters, and I only had one, the horizontal kind, which is great if you have a free end to access, but for rework, the vertical cutter is needed. It's always nice to see the folks from Superior Scenics, and they had a wide assortment of real stone ballast and rocks. I've used their C&W Pink Lady ballast on the existing layout, and I really liked how it worked and how it's held up over the years. I picked up this bag of ultrafine limestone to use as shoulders on the highway, but I think it would look good as a limestone or crushed gravel base just about anywhere. Because I came by train and only had my backpack to carry everything that I needed for 3 days, I didn't want to overload myself with treasures to take home, so I was somewhat careful to stick to the smaller items. But I stopped at Lundy Studios' booth and I found a building that will work for the downtown area. Unfortunately for them, their shipment of building kits didn't make it to the show, but fortunately for me, they offered the show discount and free shipping, so I could still get the building but not have to carry it with me. While visiting the Walthers booth, they had a small layout that was showcasing some of their trains, rolling stock, track, and structures. And I saw this building. I really liked it. I think it'll work fine in between my industrial area and my commercial side. One of the kind folks from Walthers searched their catalog for this office building, but then realized it was only available with a larger suite of buildings and a couple of different kits. Once that was established, I set out looking for one of those larger kits, which I found at Spring Creek. The office building is four-sided, so it can stand alone without having to create a back wall, and I can certainly use the larger building in different settings, as well as the little substation that comes with it. Not too bad to have only one extra large box with me on the train, but I did pick this up at the end of the show as I was leaving on Sunday, and it actually fit very nicely in my compartment on the train. One interesting bit of info I found out is that the licensing agreement that Walthers has had in place with Ford for many years is ending. So any of the Ford branded kits and models will be discontinued within the year, but they'll have them available until they are out of stock. Now, they have had some really nice kits over the years, so it's kind of sad to see that happen, but that's just part of business. Now, I know Spring Creek has a large inventory in their basement of some of these kits. I know this one I picked up this summer when I was in Deschler, and I'm happy to have it. So if you're looking for a specific kit, give Spring Creek a call and see if they can find it in their inventory. Now, I know this says 2025 Great Model Railroads, and this is something I picked up last year and was quite excited to have, and was hoping that I would be able to get the Great Model Railroads 2026, but strangely, Model Railroader did not have a booth at Trainfest. It's so bizarre. They are or were based in Milwaukee, and they didn't have any presence there. Now, that didn't mean that Model Railroader was completely out of Trainfest. They just didn't have a booth. I saw David Popp, Cody Grivno, and Eric White at the show, and I'm sure they will have complete coverage of Trainfest in the magazine and on trains.com. Chuck Stanzel of Logic Rail Technologies had a booth in a prime location at Trainfest. I went by his booth a couple of times to check on him to make sure he hadn't tipped over, because it seems like he was always busy, always helping people get some of their electronics. I picked up this light EFX board at the St. Louis RPM. Well, I actually didn't pick it up there. He had run out of boards at the National Train Show in Novi. But again, he offered the show discount if you emailed him after the RPM, and that's exactly what I did, so I could get a board once they had some more in stock. I enjoyed the show. This is the second time that it has been at the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee, and the venue itself is nice. Lots of space to move around without bumping into people. Because I walked from Amtrak to my hotel and the convention center, I didn't have to worry about parking, but I heard it was more than some people expected. Lots of spaces were available, but most were around $30 for the day. I did hear of one where it was $10 a day. Last year, there was a nice area to sit in the hall at some tables in comfortable chairs for eating lunch or to relax, but that apparently got overlooked this year. So the convention staff scrambled and set up tables and chairs in the pre-function space outside of the hall, which was nice even if it was a little late for lunch. Well, that's all I have on Trainfest 2025. I'll be back on the road soon. This weekend I'll be up at the Granite City Model Railroad Show in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I've made it to at least one train show or train-related event every month this year, and 2026 looks like it will not be lacking should I want to try to beat my record from this year. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a great day.